いんななだ。だ。
夏らしいことがしたいのだわ。怖い話以外。ボディがお留守なのだわ。剣の舞うまま。舞踏会にようこそ。ほっえい。波乗りタイム。お手合わせ願うのだわ。砂浜に思いは刻んで。ごめん遊ばせ。完璧な新ネタリー。ほっえい。育児なしはバイバイ。ボディがお留守なのだわ。完璧な新ネタリー。今なのだわ。おっと波乗りタイム。
脅威確認。
虎の手を貸します。
悪いが誰も通さない守るため全て排除する未だ脅威は消えていない。
空の方向へ
エンバス形成する。
空風にお任せください。音楽は命の鼓動。よーく見ててください。音楽は切なくぺちゃんこにしましょう。
悪いが誰も通さない。脅威確認。位置についた。エンバス
空風にお任せくれ。全部ぶっ飛ばしちゃいます。私から目を離せないで。ぺちゃんこにしましょう。
悪いが誰も通さない。私こそ貴様にとっての終点。未だ脅威は消えていない。このまま押せ。
空の方向へ化粧ですよ。やるです。どう
最後の警告だ。牽制する。
音楽を切なく。 こにしましょ
悪いが誰も通さぬ。この視線をくぐれる者はいない。
う。やるです。私一気に堂々。
牽制する。
神妙にしなさリーチ。探検日和だよ今日は。真夜中の大冒険、きっと楽しいよ。
Oh, yeah, did my dailies and I forgot about those weekly boss, so I did that. So I have my Lucia as high level as can for her base ability. So let's continue the story here.
リン、来たか。お主がいい支援の。我が輩は万学。こたびはいい支援に加え、この
友よ、永飛地区への帰還以来、賊用多端にて近日所用ありて市内に戻らざるを得ないより、新たに迎えた弟子に目に願わくばかの地まで足を運びて、それともし
裏にも何かあるようだね。僕たちに宛てたメッセージ。
それじゃあ万学。
何ことさらに賢く。
まあ万学先生。
まあよい。いかなる最悪に見舞われたかは知らぬが。
よかった。
面用なる幻に危うきエーテリアス。悪しき者を撃つこと。
師匠に感謝だな。遠くにいても僕たちのことを気にかけてくれる。ただ問題はもう一つあって、それは万学先生にも対処は難しいかもしれない。
街にいた時、急に通信が途切れたことだよね。
ああ、あの町。
マスターの信号は継続して検知されており、現在位置の追跡。
まるでリンが幾重にも重なる幕に包まれているようだった。動いているのはわかるのに。
宮妻ってまだまだ謎が多いね。今まで私たちが。
対応策は僕とフェアリーで引き続き探る。
気をつけるよ。それじゃあ、もうこんな時間、そろそろ休まなきゃ。
Oh, interesting. There's quite a few new enemy types in this. Even for the corrupted, there's two, and like there's the weekly boss, so they added two other ones as well. Although I think that's the thing we saw and we ran from. Or is that the thing we saw and ran from? So that's interesting because all of these have basically become weekly bosses, right? Actually, no, not this one. Actually, no, not all of them are weekly bosses. Some of them are, like, yeah, like, actually, yeah, here's one of the weekly bosses. And then this one, and this one are Hollow Zero ones. And just, yeah, maybe not, maybe. So this is definitely the weekly boss, but I don't think any of these are weekly bosses. Is this the motorcycle guy, maybe? Yeah, might as well unlock this since I'm here anyway.
残念。
安心してフェアリー。賞賛のコマンドを受信。もう一つスケジュールに関する通知が
let's not go into that. I'm not sure what they're gonna force me to do if I start it. So that's the new character quest for Lucia. So let's just go to sleep. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what they mean by simulation, and of course the fact that there's a hard mode. I'm like, is it like a mini game? Is it like a mini game we've done before that they've just said, "Hey, cool, we brought it back in a more permanent mode"? Or is it? I mean, this game's all about combat, so presumably it's another combat event. Of which I think there's enough. Like, I think we have enough combat events. Like, having a more relaxed, chill mini game. Well, I mean, they have a few of those too. Cause like, there's the arcade. The arcade has a lot of little permanent mini games. Oh, this is where we had that event where we met Soleil.
おっす、リンちゃん。朝飯まだだったら食ってかないっすか？
ごめん、待たせちゃった。
何？
ここの天津、美味しいよ。 ちょっと量が物足りないけど、いっか、おごりだし。え、おごり？なんか、それはね、あ、黒枝の座を食べながらお話ししたいし、なんでもみんなと先に少しお話ししたから、もう本題に入ろっか。まずはポーセルメックスのことかな。今はザオちゃんが管理してるん。そっか、ダミアンさんも英七湖を離れたんだ。師匠たちとタイミングが一緒なのは、なんかね、社員の一人がダミッチの操業停止でいろいろ調べてたら、君たちにたどり着いたってわけ。
多分パウルとウエストのことっす。なんで、
君たちが街で見たことが本当なら、行方不明になってるのは2人だけじゃない。だからポーセルメックスには当面英妃地区での業務を全面停止して、正直またポーセルメックスの誰かが英妃地区でトラブったら、さすがに黒枝もお手上げかもだし。
自分としては断る理由ねえっす。
マナト君に同じ。もちろん食べて食べて。行方不明者の情報があればいろんな。そのことなんだけど、実は何にも取れてなかったりして、街を覆ってる宮妻が。そっか、私の描いた似顔絵ならあるよ。似顔絵？いいねいいね。ふふん、どんなもんです。ジンジャー淡水を目的はちょっとあれだけど。これで誰が。リュシアちゃん、この人。あ、それがパウルだよ。喋るときにね。じゃあこっちのスケッチもそんな感じ。まあとにかくリンちゃん、宮妻トップスの最新研究なんだ。その名も工事の箱。高密度の工事でできてて、小さい範囲ならエーテルの活性を安定させたりを希釈してくれるよ。理論上はそんな感じってだけで、実地テストがまだだったんだ。本当は別の同僚にテストしてもらう予定だったけど、ちょうどいいし。
当該装置から盗聴、追跡、自爆といった電子的。
おお、ありがとう。
よし、じゃあ予定通り動きます。
じゃあザオちゃんは
うん
れが町か。
工事の箱が効いてるみたいだね。
よし、接続は良好。ひとまず
夢すがりコマのマナトと同一のエーテル活性反応を大量に検出。分析の結果
Yeah, 'cause, like, I guess all you need to do is be able, if the box itself is able like to purify miasma within like a 1 foot radius of itself, then it could keep your tech working. Although realistically, that shouldn't work, right? Because the idea is that it's the miasma in the atmosphere. That's all. Like every particle of miasma in the atmosphere is blocking the signal. It's not that the miasma touches your technology and breaks it. It's that when you're, well, I mean, maybe some of it is that, but it's like suppressing signals and suppressing energy, perhaps. But if it's in the atmosphere, it should also like interrupt connections. Like the device should work to allow you for if it does purify it, it should allow your stuff to work normally. But if it's actually communicating out, well, then your communications have to go through the atmosphere. Whatever signal you're doing to communicate would have to go into the miasmal atmosphere, which should damper it, like it dampers your. But yeah, whatever, right? Doesn't have to make sense. It's just an imaginary, fake world with fake shit. Doesn't have to follow logic.
やはりな、所詮人ならざる者。いかにそれらしく振る舞おうと、その尋常ならざる赤外線放射は隠し通せぬ。
なら幻相手に
お、マナトの兄貴。
いや、手伝い。
そうだ、護身用の憲法を編み出そうと思ってるんです。
パウル、そんなにやりてえことがあんならなんで今すぐてめえで
そう言わないでやってくれ。
ムスさん。
おや、何やら
何言ってるの？あんたが
放った。ああ、なるほど。ランタンベアラーとワンダリング
ランタンベアラー？
ああ、幽霊みたいなものだ。奴らが来るときは決まってまず妙な鈴の音がする。町の住人はその音を合図に隠れるんだ。
夢のオアシスが聞いて呆れる。
とにかくこちらに敵意がないってことは信じてほしい。次には
不要である。次にまみえた。
なんとも豪傑然としているな。とにかくこの辺りなら好きに見て回ってくれ。みんな君だ。
今好きに見て。行動へ行く前にマナト君に声をかけよう。
遇だな。そちらさんも道場主で。
万学やっぱりパウルさんのエーテル周波数宮妻のコブと一緒だ。この町には生きてる人が誰もいないの？一旦後回し。先に行動の様子を見に行こうかな。
Are they being kept in the auditorium? Is the auditorium where they keep the real bodies of everything? Is the auditorium... So in the auditorium, maybe they keep the real bodies in, like, suspension or whatever, and then it's their dreams that go out, kind of like how Minato popped out, right? The white Minato. It could be that that's what happened, except maybe Moss actually restrains them. So maybe Moss captured them, and then when their dream versions of themselves popped out, he let them roam free, but kept the originals trapped. So there wouldn't be like two versions of them. Or maybe he's doing it, keeping them trapped for some other sinister reason. Oh, okay. I guess even the moss here is a fake. Interesting. Okay, so I thought maybe that moss might be actually real, and he was still doing this, but if even that one is a fake, it's hard to say. It could be that, yeah, the other ethereals did have a... So it could be that the Wild Hunter and whatever the other one was, it could be that both of them had actually captured the people, have them trapped over there, and just the natural properties of the miasma had their dream versions pop out. Maybe they're harvesting dreams? Hard to say.
通してくれるつもりはなさそう。はーい、りんちゃん、こっちこっち。 ナイスリシア。今のうちに行動へ急ごう。
さあ、真なる渇望を受け入れよ。
お兄ちゃん、今の声聞こえた？誰かが囚われてる。
下ろしてあげられないか。
Oh, it's Hikari.
休めた方がいいよ。
やだ、このやつやつ
あなたならきっとできる。さあ、もう一度よ。
That's surprising. Why did she get? Why did she fall down? Is it she would naturally fall down if she was awoken, or did we do something like? Did we naturally purify it? Maybe the box. You know, if the box we had purified miasma, it would have affected the people too.
夢？違う。ここはホローの中だよ。なんでこんな危ない場所にいるの？
Like, this is what I find stupid, right? You're not a drowned ideal, are you? Dude, you have the perception technique. Why would you ask that? Just look. Perceive. Like, I thought it was the kind of thing you'd instantly be able to use. So it's like, why would you even bother asking the question when you yourself can figure it out?
何事だ。
彼女、ここで宙吊りになっていたのだけれど。
これがモスの言ってた大事なものかよ。
さっきからずーっとリンちゃんを見。ねえ、名前はなんて言うの？
私、イドリンよ。
おお、よかった。
いいとこに来たじゃねえかも。
待ってくれ。これも誤解だ。俺たちがここに来た時から彼女は。
またしても誤解かい。
本当だ。住人もみんな証人になってくれる。という。
私も自分がそういえば、なんだか映像が頭をよぎった気がする。
Oh, that was Sarah.
サラだったよね。
Interesting.
ちゃんと聞いてみないといけないね。
So I guess she could have been. Well, it seemed like she seemed like she was a Hollow Raider herself, and then was betrayed by her companions. Maybe that's it. Her companions sold her out to the Exaltus, and then the Exaltus trapped her for some reason. Does beg the question, why her, right? Also, does beg the question, like, why was she with the Hollow Raiders to begin with? You know, like, why was she working with them? Like, they have such distinctive styles, right? Like, she looks like a super hot woman, and all the Exaltus, or all the Hollow Raiders all wear that similar outfit. Although I guess there are some female ones, because like for Berenice's trailer video, she was dancing against an obviously female Hollow Raider, so maybe Yadhari was wearing something like that when she was betrayed, and they took her out of the suit to trap her. It does beg a question too. So obviously Sarah got the power. After we beat Isolde, the power of the Ether God moved over to Sarah. So, is this something she did before or after getting that power? Is this something she was only able to do with that power? Or is this something she had set up long ago? Or at the very least before we beat Isolde, before the events, before we uncovered all Portia Luminex's plot and all that shit? Is this something she had set up before then? Or is this something she did afterwards?
別にいいっすよ。こいつに説明して。
イドリ、歩けそう？ 自分の足で歩けるわ。
I don't like when they do that. They give you two options, and then the next response is just a combination of those two options. It's like it's fine if it happens every now and then, you know? Sure. And like, it's not like this is unique to this game too. Genshin does the same thing. Well, actually, Genshin does it a different way, where they actually just like literally make them the same. It's like the first half of a sentence, ... and then the second option is ... the second half of the sentence. So it's like, oh, okay, clearly these are just one law. This is supposed to be just one sentence. And then when you click either one of them, you say the entire sentence. So at least it's clear when you're making the option that yes, you're going to say both of these things. In this game, it's like, well, you give me two separate things, and no matter what I pick, you're still just like, no, you say them both. I'm like every now and then is fine, but it does lack a little originality where you're just like, come on, man, couldn't you have just voiced two separate lines? You know, couldn't you have just had two separate things?
でもごめんね。私
Like, and as I said, it's fine every now and then, right? Sure, you want to do that? Because like at that point, just make one option, right? Just have us click one button to say one sentence, right? Because like you could just remove either one of the options, right? And just say, hey, can you walk? And then we would have said the whole sentence. Just remove the second. Like, don't give us the illusion of choice and then just combine it later, right? It's fine if you want to give us a prompt, right? To be like, let's keep you engaged. Let's have you choose your response. That's fine. Even if there's just one option, it's like, okay, cool. I'll pick this. You know, it feels worse, a little worse. Not like terrible, but like it just feels a little worse when you're given two choices and neither of them, like, they don't matter multiple times in a row. You're just like, really? Like, if you're not going to really give me a choice, then just don't give me a choice, right? Just give me one option and then just say your line, right? Like that, right? That's fine. It's fine to have a one-off. You don't need to have two choices for that shit. You can just have the one. It's still engaging.
あまり調子が戻っていないようだが。
僕たちを止めないんだな。
止めるもんか。俺たちだってあんな。
しからば参るぞ。想像だに。
彼らは行動に入ってしまいましたが。
いや、イドリーに釘付けで。
それならいいのですがね。あの子には
平気だ。起き抜けの運動だとでも。
Interesting. Okay, so they obviously are malicious. Why would they think Yadari would come back? You know? They expect her to come back. Is it because she'll reveal information about the secret door? And so she's expecting Yadari to come back to resolve the issue, or to bring us back to go do that. But then you think they would still be because they clearly don't want us to go to the door, right? So releasing someone who knows information about it and will bring back people to uncover more secrets about it, you think they would still stop it. Or are they counting on her ability as a Hollow Raider? Well, she's a Hollow Raider. She'll definitely come. I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird because why would she come back, right? Because if you're expecting, oh well, because she's a Hollow Raider, because she was with the Hollow Raiders, she'll realize, she'll remember. Eventually, she'll remember, and then come back and help us. But it doesn't really make sense because from what we saw, she was betrayed. She was with the Hollow Raiders. She was betrayed and sold out. So yeah, it's like, why would they do that? Like, she was betrayed, so if she remembers anything, she would remember that. You know, she would remember, oh yeah, I was betrayed. Fuck those people. You know, so why would she come back unless they did something to her? It could be that that connection was a connection to the creature that's being like maybe it's, so they said it was like the guardian deity of the dream world. So it could be that whatever's within that hidden door is whatever's creating the dream world. So, and it could be that those connections were connecting her to whatever, the hollow, the device, or whatever. So it could be that maybe get bonded with her in some sort of way, so she'll be driven to come back for it. I mean, the reason why I'm stopping and like doing all these suppositions because I'm pretty sure that they're going to tell us why. But part of the fun about these stories is to kind of wonder and theorize and be like, why would that be the case? And then see whether or not your guesses were correct. Sometimes I'm right, oftentimes I'm wrong because like say the scale like explodes way bigger than I could have expected. And like at this moment we don't really have any information. I thought maybe they were truly innocent, but then of course that sinister dialogue afterwards. Because like they could have just been the results of random bullshit, right? And it would make sense that they're like, oh shit, we have this girl who's sleeping in the auditorium. It's perfectly reasonable to keep guards up to make sure no one gets there to protect her, right? So it could be that it could have been that they were just that nice and truly, and just like byproducts of whatever the fuck's going on here. And so they don't know anything. But the fact is, that sinister conversation, clearly, at the very least, some of them are in on the true secret of this town. And they are doing something malicious.
まずはここを出ようか。長期兵に帰ってから話そう。でもどうしたの？何も。そういえばサラと知り合いなの？
God damn, that's hot.
私が閉じ込められたのは彼女が原因よ。君も知り合いなの？
Yeah, I'm definitely get her. Oh, okay. I came to an obviously big square arena. Usually that's when a battle starts in arenas, in rooms like that. I guess, I assume when we come back, that's when we're going to have to actually do the fights in these areas. There's going to be like some sort of ether explosion, and then we're going to have to fight our way back to the auditorium. Oh, interesting. So she's like Minato. Minato has a similar thing, where he drains his HP. He lights his blade on fire. And then every one of his attacks, I think, drains HP at that point. And then you press EX special to get it back. Realistically, I actually don't like that. I don't like HP draining. I don't like the low HP type builds. Like I just don't like it. It's not my favorite. It's just not fun for me because it's obviously it's high risk, high reward. But then of course, because you can see how lower HP gets. I mean, it seems like it is a threshold of about 25%. So it won't drain beyond that, but there are definitely bosses that you fight where it's like they can do 25% in one hit, or do multi-hits. That if you suck at dodging and mess up your dodge and mess up the timing of the dodges, all of the hits will hit you and kill you. Which is like that's why I don't like low HP builds. However, conversely, if you are fighting, so like when I was fighting the hunter, right, for the weekly bosses. I kept fucking up the dodge timings and stuff because I was in the middle of attacks and shit. And so my Evelyn had like 50% health. So it's like, But Yadari, even if she fucks up, right, and gets the 50% health, not only is she doing more damage, but if I get low health, I can always just do her attack to heal her. So she actually does have her own self-sustain, which is cool because even if you're not manually doing it yourself to lower your health, you can still recover yourself.
私が相手するわ。寝起きのストレッチ代わりにね。やる
るじゃねえかイドリーさん。
話すときはふわふわなのに喧嘩のときは元気いっぱいだ。
これでもう大丈夫。
出口に向かおう。
Yeah, that was weird. I could have sworn I started her spin and then she didn't do a full spin. So I'm not sure why. It's cool that her tails glow, her tentacles glow. Is that the effect when she has her personal weapon? Because that is really cool looking.
よし、開いた。
今回はえらく順調だったっすね。
ほら行こう。戻ったら
どうしたのイドリーちゃん。イドリー？
ダメ。
どうしたの？
見えるの。この先に立ちはだかる暗闇が集まる。
渦巻く。
侵食による幻覚だろうか。なおのこと
信じて、きっと
ごめんなさい。でも
難しく考えすぎないで。ほら行ってみよう。待って、危ない。今の幻覚。そうに決まってる。無駄よ。幻じゃない。ホローの呪いなの。
Oh, interesting. I honestly thought they would actually pull her through, and like after they saw that illusion and she was pulling, I thought like they both break through. But the second she broke contact, you could clearly see that she wasn't really going anywhere. Interesting. I also thought there'd be something special about Belle, or Wise. You know, I thought like them touching her would like be able to purify it.
報告。マスターの座標はこの数字。
やっぱりダメだった。
観測データを見たんだけれど、イドリーが出口に近づいた瞬間。
つまりイドリーを連れてると出口が消えちゃうってこと？
そう。だから。
I mean, I would try using our perception technique, right? Because like we sometimes it's like a little mini game where we have to get like the little ether ball to go through certain nodes and stuff. Maybe we can do something like that on her.
僕も賛成だ。せっかく助けられ。
まだ慌てるような時間じゃない。
Yeah, again, like let's not. She said both things, and it's just like so. In this one quest, we've gotten like 5 or 6 ones where it's like, here's 2 options. We're going to say both of them in one quest. It's like it's a little excessive. At that point, just give us one option, or just voice 2 lines of dialogue. You know. Again, see? +1 on double sensitive. Oh, I see. So she's not necessarily a Hollow Raider, but she might have been hired by the Hollow Raiders, or at least working with them as a proxy, which, I mean, you're working with criminals. So it wasn't so much a betrayal. I mean, obviously it was betrayal, right? She was hired by the people, and the people fucked her over. Sure, right? Dick move. But it's not like she was like, not like she herself was a Hollow Raider. Although, to be fair, again, they are criminals, and they are dressed in criminal, like, they have a uniform, right? They basically have a uniform. Hey, if you see someone dressed like that, they're criminals, because they're Hollow Raiders, and doing that is illegal. So it's just like, yeah, if you work with people who are clearly dressed in the I'm an evil bad guy uniform, you can't really have plausible deniability for that. So, yeah, see again, another double a double up. It's like,
さっきは驚
it's like, come on, man.
私が焦りすぎたの。プロ棋士人生初の状況で。
Like, again, I'd be fine if they just removed. Oh, hey. Oh, I see. Her tentacles glow in Lucia's little dream world. Oh, that's a cool little effect then.
方向は合っているから。このまま
Oh, I see. I have to hold it and then let go. Got it.
ないのに、どうして道がわかるの？
So I got smacked out of it.
簡単よ。他の人についていく。
I got smacked out of it because I just assumed that once I held it up, like once I held it, it would then, once it fully charged, automatically start spinning. So you can't hold it and then just only release it when you want to. That's cool. Actually, one sec.
Look, あの人たち。
三小会の人間。
落ち着いて。過去の幻を再現しただけよ。
すごい力。凛ちゃんの術法にも負けず劣らずって感じ。
あの人たち、何か探しているみたい。
So it could be that that's what Yidhari is, okay, is that all of them? It is. So it could be that Yidhari, they did find what they were looking for, and that's what Yidhari was able to, and that's why they captured Yidhari. Here's that they used her.
はっきりしねえ顔だな。
幻だからね。少し変わって見えてもおかしくはないさ。
イドリーちゃん、長時間フォローにいるけど、体は大丈夫？
そういや、坑道の床に薬や工事が散らばってる。
あれで侵食を緩和していたのか。
イドリーちゃん、なんか反応が鈍いね。まだ寝ぼけてるのかな。受け止められる？はあ、トラキリアアタック。影を従え。霧の中で眠りたま準備はいいかしら。
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a clusterfuck. I don't know what the best combination for that is. I do think it is pretty cool that Lucia's,
やっぱりシェルターがあったんだ。
yeah, makes her tails glow.
マジでシェルターだ。
この作り、キュート時代のものと見て間違い。
工事製の遮断層を複数確認。この場所はラマニアンフォロー内における。
See, that was always the thing that kind of confused me, because they talked about Hollow Zero being like the first Hollow, right? And Hollow Zero was the one that exploded and like fucked over the old capital. It's just like, oh, okay. So my thought initially was that when Hollow Zero first appeared as the first Hollow, it then immediately exploded, right? Like, so it appeared and then grew to a massive size, and that's why the capital fell, is because like they had never, like, it was a completely unknown, crazy thing. They're like, what the fuck, you know? But then the problem with that is that one, it happened relatively recently, because even like young people like Bell and Wise could remember it to a degree. And the fact that there was like so much technology that revolved around Ether, That like made no sense. Like there's no way they could have developed all of that in like 10 years, right? After this hollow catastrophe. Because it's not even simply just like developing the technology, but you need like the logistics for it. Like if you're going to do like research takes time, and researching ether will take time. You need to make devices. You need to get ether materials. Like you need a mining operation to be able to get all these materials to then craft and research the things that you're researching. Doing all of that within 10 years, it's insane. You know? But then I realized I was mistaken, and it wasn't that Hollow Zero appeared 10 years ago, or 11 years ago, really, and then exploded. It's that Hollows existed before that. Now, they've not really explicitly said when they appeared, but it seems like Hollow Zero first appeared, and with it came other child Hollows, and that's why there are Hollows all over the place, and they've been spending their time doing research on it, and that's why they have stuff like Porcelaluminex, or because they've researched and realized, oh, this can resist ether, cool, you know? So they've done all this research, and it was only that 11 years ago when Hollow Zero exploded, had an unusual activity, and it exploded and barreled out tons of ethereals and stuff like that. Or, you know, the ethereal activity exploded, and the Hollow itself expanded to encompass the whole city, swarming with ethereals, which basically, you know, made the old capital useless, as they had to try to evacuate everyone as quickly as they could and fight off the ethereals and keep the situation contained. So that's how they were able to do that stuff. Because like obviously they're talking about old capital having porcelain walls. It's like, wait, you know, if the old capital fell when Hollow Zero expanded, then how could they possibly have? And if Hollow Zero only appeared when the catastrophe happened, then there's no way they could have walls that could resist ether within the old capital that had fallen, right? Clearly, this was already created, you know, when it has part of their research. Anyway, yeah. So that was my misunderstanding. Because, like, I mean, to be fair, they weren't clear at all, right? They didn't explicitly say when Hollows appeared. We were always just kind of, like, living through the normal experiences. Hell, we didn't even know when the Hollow catastrophe happened. They alluded it was in the past, and it was only relatively recently that we were told that it was 11 years ago. But they never really said that yeah. But they never really said, like, and they did say Hollow Zero is obviously the first Hollow, but they never explicitly said that Hollow Zero existed before that catastrophe 11 years ago. So it was kind of confusing, because you're like, wait, what's the timeline of this world? And then I was like, oh, okay, so Hollow Zero popped up. It created a lot of child Hollows, and that's why the infrastructure is in place to manage it, you know. Why Hollow, and maybe even why Hollow Raiders are illegal. Like, why it's illegal to raid Hollows without a license is because maybe they are assuming that whatever someone did in Hollow Zero caused the expansion, which, you know, has been attributed to their teacher, Carol. But I bet what really did it was the Exaltus. I bet Carol probably had either a lab assistant, maybe Sarah, or some other scientist who was working with her, who was an Exaltus, who then, you know, basically intentionally fucked over Hollow Zero to make it expand, while leaving it up to Carol to take the blame. That's my guess. So, but of course, like that would be under the assumption that, of course, these Hollows had to have existed before then, and that we had infrastructure and all the shit in place to, you know, mine ether materials and create weapons that could fight against ethereals and, you know, all that shit, right? So, and then, in fact, even as part of this 2.0, 2.x patches, we had that dude, that military guy, who took bribes from Porcelalume, I'm presumably for other people too, where he sent soldiers to basically, rather than evacuate citizens, was evacuating company materials. You know, materials that, like, materials owned by the Porcelalume company. They were like, oh shit, we need to get all of our materials from our headquarters outside so that we, you know, don't lose any money, basically. And so he took soldiers to do that instead of evacuating citizens in a time of crisis. Obviously a dick move, right? But that obviously tells you that Porcelain existed before, and considering their main export is Luminex, a material that can resist hollow ether, means that the hollows clearly had to have existed before the catastrophe. Now, how long? Hard to say, right? Well, have hollows existed for hundreds of years? Or maybe they were still relatively new? I mean, it seems like we're kind of in a new stage, so maybe only 10, 20 years before the catastrophe did they first appear, maybe? But we haven't been explicitly told. But we were given enough hints to essentially understand that. Like, the hollows do seem relatively new, but the catastrophe had their old capital fall. So, yeah. And we're learning bit by bit. Because, like, first, like, we didn't have any, like, clue at all, because it's just like, oh no, it's just these proxies kind of trying to live their best life. And so we just kind of had some relatively small-scale stuff. I mean, the prologue was really small-scale. Just like, hey, random shit. Chapter 1, you could say, was the introduction. I mean, the introduction of Sarah does kind of say that it's the introduction of the Exaltus. Because Sarah is an Exaltus, and that's why... So it does kind of, like... It does kind of introduce the concept of a shadow organization. Although, to be fair, Sarah wasn't, like, really... We didn't really know much about Sarah at the time. So, it's not really so much foreshadowing, because they didn't really foreshadow shit. We can allude that it was Sarah who was, like, trying to create the situation that ended up creating, but it wasn't until, like, later chapters when we actually found Perlman. He was like, it's all Sarah's fault. I was working for a secret organization, and she was the contact, and, so there really wasn't much within chapter 1 that kind of led to that, but... So yeah, they've been kind of slowly building, and it was only at the end of, like, the first season that they really talk about, their teacher and the university or academy that they were at before the Hollow catastrophe happened, and we kind of learned that their goal was to find their teacher, right, and to figure out what happened back then. So like that was only at the end of season 1. So it's like the kind of overarching plot only kind of happened then, really. And then we can kind of understand, like, we understand the Exaltus are kind of dicks. It's like, sure. Because, like, we did fight, by that point we had fought Bringer, we had seen the sacrifices, so we had seen that what the Exaltus, like, what the issue with the Exaltus is. But it's like, if they're the big bad, right? If they're the big bad of the series, the Exaltus, which, I mean, this seems like they are. Like, we only have the character's motivation happen after meeting them. So it's like a bunch of little random stuff that builds and builds until finally it's like, oh, look, here's the big bad of the series. And then after that, it's like, oh, yeah, and here's our motivation. It's like, Genshin lets you know your motivation right away, right? You fight the strange goddess, you get your ass handed to you, you get separated from your sibling, motivation right there. Revenge against the goddess, finding your sibling, right from the get-go, right? And then sure, and so the overarching plot of finding our sibling has always been there, right from the beginning. And then we have, we're resolving the plots and side stories of the region that we're in. So we popped into Mondstadt, had to help defeat with Dvalin, shit like that, right? It's fine. So they introduce the overarching plot right away, and then you just deal with other situations as you come across them in each region having its own little subplot. Whereas, like, Zenless never really had that. It was just kind of like a bunch of just, like, random shit happening, right? Because it was like, yeah, we had like rescuing the people from the construction company in 1. Then we learned a little bit more about Belobog and her father keeping some sort of secret in the Hollow. And then we met Caesar and Bernice and the Sons of Chaldeon in the outer skirts, in the outer ring. It's just like all these seemingly random things that, like, don't really have much to do with each other. Like, sure, like, they're the ones who found Perlman after he escaped, so it's like, okay, I guess you could say that's how they're connected, but, like, realistically, you didn't have to have them. It could have been like, it could have just been Hall Raiders found him and we found him from that. Like, so the plot in the first parts of the game are not super connected, and now we are kind of getting for a stronger, more interconnected plot, where it's like, yeah, most of the events that are happening, you know, because like we want, one, know our motivation, two, know so we know our motivation, we know like the big bad, we know the Exaltus are the big bad, so having them pop up repeatedly, it's like, okay, yeah, we already knew they were the big bad, and now it's kind of like, now we're just learning how dangerous they can be with all the shit that's happening, you know, so. And then, like, they still have the character stories to kind of flesh out each character as they come. So it's like, you know, pretty cool. So I think it's gotten better. Yeah, it was a little too loosely connected before, and with like, we're kind of us doing just random aimless things where it's like, yeah, we're just a proxy, we're just a random proxy. We're just, you know, trying to make ends meet. We're just trying to, you know, make the best of our life. And then it's like, no, actually. Despite how we act normally, we are still trying to find more information about our teacher. And in fact, there's been a lot of little hints about our teacher in the season 2 while we're doing all these other shit. So, you know, not too much, because obviously it's going to be a overarching plot and mystery for a while, I would assume. So, I don't even know if we're going to learn that much more about our teacher in season 2. Maybe there are going to be some big twists at the end of season 2 for all I know. But yeah, I mean, just the fact that we know that means, hey, sure, we know our motivation, so you don't need to like reiterate it over and over again. It's like, no, now we know our motivation because of the end of season 1. So, you know, every little tidbit, every little sprinkling, it's kind of like in Genshin, the Dainsleif series, right? Like, Dainsleif only appears pretty much once a year in his interlude patch. But, like, because we know his overarching plot, it's like, cool, let's have a little bit more information about him and this aspect of the story where we're going to get a little more information about that. You know, they keep... And so they could just do that with Belle, which is like, yeah, just sprinkle a little bit of teacher lore back while they, you know, continue to work through the main plot.
シェルターに入ったことで
人を幻扱いって。
私ね、子供の頃からこうなの。ホローにいるとかつてでも成長するにつれて幻とそばにいる仲間の区別がつかなくなるばかりか。みんなここだと人影もぐっと減って周囲の。
けどリンちゃんのことは幻だと思わなかったんだろう。
わからないわ。彼女だけは歪んだ顔ぶれの中で。
聞いたかい、リン。
同意。ある意味では。
そうだわ。みんな長期兵に戻るんでしょ。危機開会というお店で柚子胡椒って人にことづてを頼めないかしら。いちごパフェは。
Oh, Yuzu Pepper's Yuzuha.
私だよ、私。ヨマの語り部。それとこっちは。
ヨマちゃんに。
まだ来てない例のネット持って。
じゃあひょっとしてリンが柚子胡椒？
そういうことにしといてもいいけど、ゆずはとアリスになんて。
でもどうして？いちごちゃんもオフ会のために長期兵まで来たんでしょ？さらに呼ばれてきたの。てっきり調査の依頼かと思っていたけど、ここの宮彼女は私をここに閉じ込めてひっきりなしに自分でも逃げようとしたけれど毎回気を失って。
I see, so that's why she was used.
気がついたらあの行動にも。
So she was trapped in it. Presumably they found it, and then that's why they left. They used her ability, found what they wanted, left, and then maybe left her to... So maybe the door, the hidden door that they were talking about was the door that they were looking for the entire time. And so they left her there to protect it or whatever. Interesting. Or maybe they... no, I was going to say maybe they need her there for the door to even exist, but that seems kind of silly. I assume they were just watching the past to see how someone opened it or where it was, so that they could just do the same method.
その不思議な力が本当に宮妻のせいで発火した。
Okay, so that's why they said she'd come back. It's because even if she tried to escape, she would be stuck. Now it's also super weird. Okay, but then why would she come back to that spot, right? This is the place where you were essentially trapped. Why would you go there, right? Go anywhere else. Especially because wasn't she the one who brought us here to this safe house? So if you know where the safe house are, although I guess technically we did need to use our miasma abilities to get here, so maybe they set it up so there's miasma protections to prevent her from getting anywhere except where they want her to go.
私はここに長くいても平気だからみんなは戻ってて。こんな時だけどみんなに会えてすごく嬉しかったわ。
チェー、このシェルターが丸ごと動いた。
もしかしたら移動式シェ
ルター？どういう
Was it Seed, maybe? We put her in Seed?
あれのおかげで通信は回復したけれど、同じ宮妻が作用してるはずのイドリーは出口を通れなかった。だからもっと数があればいいのかもしれん。まだ何個かあるから貸してくれるらしい。
よし、じゃあ一度
分かったわ。
まだだよ。たまには守らせてよね。どうしてイドリーがマインドリーダーのこと知ってるの？私とイド、イチゴパフェは昔からのネッ友なの。マインドリーダーのことを信じてくれたのは怪誕屋でもあの子だけだった。ねえ、今の聞こえた？その音、前に街で聞いたのと同じだよ。
近くにランタンベアラーとワンダリングハンターがいるぞ。
この感じ、かくれんぼしてるみたい。
また鈴の音か。
汚れし者よ、この万学が相手だ。
初めて見るエーテリア。ラマニアンフォロー限定の可能性ありっと。カッチカチだね。色白な手でよくか
先生、手伝うっす。
マナト殿、
流れるようなファイトスタイル。落ち着きすらか。後ろのランタンベアラーもなんか様子が変だ。確かにあんなサイズのエーテリアスはあいつをやっつければ戦いは終わる。そうかもね。メモ完了。君の正体見せちゃって。
Oh, it's her. Well, I was right. That was a little hard. Oh, I didn't get that screenshot. Damn it.
前も突然いなくなったよね、あいつ。
僕は
リュシアにそっくりだったっすね。
なんかあの子を知って。
やれやれだ。
I mean, I'm surprised. They're like, oh, it looks like Lucia. It's like, yeah, but didn't you meet a guy who looks like Minato as well? So it wouldn't be crazy to think that there would be a.
迎えに来たぞ。
ごめんなさい。
俺たちは君に何も強制できないし、その資格もない。フォローから出るのを妨げ。
どういう意味？
そのためにもどうか見せたいもの。
見せたいもの。
俺たちはそれをゆりか。
Obviously, that's stupid, right? Clearly, these people aren't good. They left you there because, like, we found you all wrapped up, right? But by her own admission, she says she's left. She's tried to leave multiple times before. So why were you all wrapped up in miasma when we found you, right? Clearly, the townsfolk cannot be trusted because, whatever. It's also the kind of thing where it's like, oh, I want to show you something really special, but I promised I'd wait for her here. Let's... Can I leave? No, damn it. Okay, so I can't get out. I have to continue the story. You know? So it is kind of annoying because it's like, well, clearly they can't be trusted, but then... yeah, so basically it's like... Yeah, have you ever wondered how you all of a sudden always wind up back in the auditorium trapped? It's like... Maybe following them back to town is not going to be the best, right? Maybe the second you go into that location, you'll get trapped by the miasma once again. Maybe this is how you end up trapped every fucking time. You know? Because it's like, yeah, sure, you can come back after we show you this thing. It's like, yeah. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll get trapped like you have been every fucking time before. You should not trust these people. If they have something to show you, wait until Belle come back. Wait till Belle and her friends come back.
食べ始めてるじゃん。経費で落ちるから気にしないでいい。街の中は夢すがりだらけで。
あの地にいた夢すがりの要望は。
でもいいの？万学先生。血の構
わぬ。苦しむ。
その人たちに代わってお礼。アキラくんから話は聞いてたから、工事の箱もあるだけ。ありがと。さてさて。じゃあ最後はリュシアちゃん。 私にもよくわからないけど
友達になりたい？
私のおばあが言ってたの。もし
承知した。次にまみえた時は
万学先生は本当になんじゃ
あイドリーとワンダ。
そうだ、ザオちゃん。創作に出すメンツはちゃんと。
わからなくはないけど。
I mean, that's a little stupid, right? Oh, pick people with a strong sense of self, otherwise drowned ideals could happen. What about you, Minato? Don't you have a strong sense of self? You have a drowned ideal. Lucia seems to have a pretty strong sense of self, but she also has a drowned ideal. I think creating a drowned ideal is going to happen regardless. Now, strong sense of self will allow them at least not to get wrapped up into it, right? Not to lose themselves and think that they are the real one, right? But it doesn't seem to prevent the creation of them.
そりゃなんつうか。
わかった。
Okay, here we go. Nice. Okay, so now I have a little good pausing point, which I didn't have one before. I had actually had one I could have done earlier, but it would have ended the stream a little early. So I was like, oh, I'll just try to continue and see. And then just got roped into that, but yeah, it's been pretty interesting. I think, I mean, to be fair, I mean, Yatari going back is pretty in character. Because, I mean, it's because you believed and trusted people that you got, you know, fucked you over to begin with. But it also is, like, really suspicious. So you're in a safe house that was trapped behind miasma. How the fuck did that guy find you, right? How did he find you? Like he knew where you were. He's like, oh yeah, I know all these super secrets. Come with me and see them. It's like, no, you should have just said no. Even like, oh, you have some super secrets? Cool, tell me where they are. And then when my friends come back, we can go check it out, right? Simple. if you clearly the intention of finding you without your friends was to trap you once again, because like if it was because like you yourself had said you've tried leaving multiple times before, and then you've now I don't know if you meant in one instance you tried leaving, like you escaped once and then tried multiple times to leave and failed and then went back and were only recaptured once. It could be that. But you could also interpret it that you've escaped that miasma cradle multiple times, tried to escape each time, and then end up stuck back. But either way, it's like, okay, yeah, but like, regardless, at the very least, even if you only escaped once, tried multiple times to leave during that one escape, and then came back, we found you all captured again. So, like, why? You clearly the town is not safe because you got captured. Now, I mean, they could blame it on the those ethereals, right? They could blame it on the ethereals. Oh, the ethereals caught you. You weren't able to hide in time. It's not our fault. We just couldn't save you. Yeah, maybe. But either way, like, regardless, the town is still provably unsafe. The people themselves are aware that there are ethereals that wander around the streets, and actually, it could be that little mini Lucia is actually there to actually stop the miasma people, right? It could be like, she could be that she understands that these people are bad, and that's why she sends out the ethereals that she's creating in her book to go hunt them down and beat them because they're the quote-unquote bad guys. So it could be that she is on their side, or on our side, kind of. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and call it for now. It's been a pretty fun story so far, but I will be back on later today to do more. Hard to say, actually. Because like Genshin has a new patch, so like I kind of want to do the story. But then again, once I finish the story in the event of this game, if I do Genshin's story now, then I won't be able to do it while I'm working out. Which is like, oh no. So, I mean, at the very least, I'll probably pop in in a few hours to play like an hour of Genshin, do my pulls for Nefer, because I'm 100% getting her. And then I'll be back on later tonight to do more Final Fantasy. I still have my roulettes to do, slowly getting my ether wells filled up, as well as getting my relics. So I just have 2 more relic stages for my Dawn Trail fishing thing. So I'll work on one more quest, one of the 2 fishing relic quests in Endwalker, because fishing takes for fucking ever. So it basically, in the time it takes me to do one quest, I could like do 2 or 3 in botany and mining because I can just focus target it. But I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.